And welcome back to The Wrap. Well, President Obama now boldly proclaiming his administration has turned things around when it comes to the way the world views the United States.
And today, once again, the United States is the most respected country on earth. And part of that, I think, is because of the work that we did to re-engage the world and say that we want to work with you as partners with mutual interest and mutual respect.
And conservative commentator Charles Krauthammer can hardly believe it.
He says we're the most respected country in the world once again. You wonder what world, what planet he's living on. And it's not just, as you enumerated, our enemies who have no respect for us. The Chinese, the Russians, the Iranians, of course. ISIS, you can go all the way down. It's our allies. You think the Ukrainians respect us, or the Poles, the Lithuanians? How about the Saudis?
Well, a Gallup poll taken last year found that for the first time, more Americans think President Obama is not respected by leaders around the world, 53% saying that. How can the president, with a straight face, Heather Hansen, say that we're the most respected country in the world?
I have no idea. I think he is deluded, but I think that he puts himself as Peace Prize winner before he puts himself as president. And I think in that respect, he thinks that he has gained respect by trying to spread peace as opposed to act as president of the United States.
Will you defend your commander-in-chief, or do you think that was a little bit of a hyperbole on his part?
I think it's hyperbole on everybody's part. Look, it's a silly thing for him to say, because if you look at anything that's ever been done on who the most respected countries in the world are, you know who you'll never see on one of those lists? You'll never see the United States, you'll never see China, you'll never see Russia, you will never see Great Britain, you will never see any country in the world that has power, because the other countries don't like the countries that have power. Now the question is, who's the most feared country? You'd probably get a different result. So no, the president shouldn't be saying something like that, because he can't possibly back it up. But Charles Krauthammer, you know, he can be good sometimes. That wasn't one of his finer moments. I'm sure he thought he was being adorable, which is a real push for Charles Krauthammer.
Oh,
but you want to know something? It wasn't adorable. It was offensive, and it was unnecessary.
Oh, it was true. Come on, Rick.
Really?
It was,
You don't think the Saudis have any respect for the United States?
Well, here's what we do know.
Is that what you
Saudi
think?
confidence in the United States has gone down.
That wasn't the question, though. And so I'm going to push Heather a little bit, because she's sitting there saying it was true. He said that the Saudi Arabians did not have respect for the United States. That is such a silly statement.
No, the problem is no one actually studies respect. All we can do is favorability from Pew.
Let's not
we
get
can
esoteric.
No, it's not. You don't want that word.
I can answer the question.
The word has never been used. What we do know is in Egypt,
Well, then
when
you
this
should
man
agree
took
that
office,
Charles Krauthammer was talking out of his
the president was
There's a question.
wrong.
The
They're
president
both
said it.
wrong. That's what I said.
Here's what we know. When the president took office in Egypt, the favorability rating of this country was 27%, it's now 10. In Germany, it was 64%, it's now 51. In Indonesia, where the president lived, it was 63, it's now 59. I don't blame the president for that entirely.
Is that
but I
respect,
do
or
blame
is that
him.
I like?
But
Is
I
that
do,
popularity
it's
or
favorability
respect?
is Pew's language. What I do blame him for is legacy shopping as he enters the last leg of his presidency.
That's fine. I agree.
And that's a really
Now let's
poor
talk
way to
about
present
Charles
the state of the
Krauthammer.
country.
I can
I
really
agree
answer
with
the
you.
question.
Yes.
Yeah, hi. So,
You have something to say?
yes,
Okay.
I do. Usually I'm asking the questions. I think I could answer one in this case. So when the Saudi king blew off that meeting at Camp David,
Right.
and said he had a scheduling conflict and was too busy.
Right.
It turned out that day he went to a horse show in England.
That's right.
And if that isn't just a big, you know what?
No, you know what
I
that
don't
was?
care what
That
you
was
think.
a big you-know-what to President Obama. Ask that question. Ask, you want to see where Krauthammer's right? Ask them if they respect President Obama, not the United States. And you've got
Isn't it
to
the
be
same
able,
thing?
No, and that's precisely the point. It's not even close to the same thing. Ask somebody who we're pointing a weapon at, a missile at, if they respect us or not. They're not going to like us. They're not going to like whoever the president is if he's or she's the one who's pointing the missile, but they will respect us.
But Rick, it wasn't even a Triple Crown race. It was in England. He went to a horse show and he blew off the president. I have to move on and keep things happy between us. I don't like it when we fight. Anyway, President Obama's chief diplomat, Secretary of State John Kerry, is now recuperating at a Boston hospital after breaking his leg during a bike ride in Switzerland over the weekend. And he had a pretty sweet ride to take him there. Let's take a look, shall we? It was this massive Air Force C-17, normally reserved to transport about 100 troops. A Kerry spokesman says other personnel also made the trip to Boston with Kerry. And you thought that whole Bunker Hill skirmish was settled long ago. So, a C-17, no seats available on United, or at least, I don't know, something not quite as obnoxious. Please help me out here, Brad.
He doesn't normally travel commercial, so who are we kidding? Look, the truth is, it's a heavier jet, but he normally travels on a plane. He
He weighs
shares with the First
114
Lady.
pounds. You don't need something that...
But then the story is, should he ever fly on anything special and not season the fact that he's got a broken leg and that's how he's being transported? So if we want to talk about it globally, maybe. This, not a big departure from the norm.
I think it's a
Just not
medical
story.
thing. The fracture was near a hip replacement. That gets more complicated. I think it was a medical thing. They wanted to get him home.
Okay.
It was, but Brad, do you really want the Secretary of State to fly commercial?
No, I don't. That's
Oh,
my point. So
okay.
this is a non-story. If you want to talk about it in general, go for it. But this
Right.
is silly.
This is silliness, and it's just more people trying to pick
it's
on
just silly.
Okay, silly season is over. Coming up next, the NRA has a new unofficial spokesman. You'll never guess who it is. Find out next.